Good morning, dear students. So today we are going to see one more topic in engineering mechanics. I'm going to introduce you to the topic called moments. So what is meant by a moment? So you can see here, the figure shows a wrench has been fixed on a rod. Now, when you move the wrench, the rod starts to rotate. So the tendency of a force to rotate a rigid body about any defined axis is called the moment of the force about the axis. So when a force is applied, the tendency of a force to rotate a rigid body about a prescribed axis, that is called as a moment of the force about the axis. Now you can see here, this particular figure shows a spanner attached to a bolt, and the bolt is made to rotate in the anti-clockwise direction. So the moment of a force about a point provides a measure of the tendency of rotation. Sometimes it is also called torque. And how to measure the moment? It is nothing but the magnitude of the force that is being applied. So you can see here you can see in the particular figure, the spanner is being rotated. Force is applied at this end. This force into the perpendicular distance, that is the point where which the moment is applied. So that the application of the force into the perpendicular distance from the point where the moment is applied. So that gives you the moment of a force. So the moment of force about an axis through a point, or for short, the moment of force about that particular point A, is nothing but the product of the magnitude of the force and the perpendicular distance between the point A and the line of action of the force. So perpendicular. So if you want to find or determine the moment, you have to know the magnitude of the force that is being applied, and you have to measure the perpendicular distance between the point where the moment is applied and the line of action of the force. So this distance into the magnitude of the force will give you the moment caused by the force. So what will be the unit of moment? So moment is nothing but force into distance. So force is measured in terms of Newton and distance is measured in terms of meter. So in SI system, the unit for moment is Newton meter. Now we can see one more practical example here. So a beam is placed between two walls A and B. Now where the application of moment plays an important role. So beam is placed between the two walls at point A and B. Now a force is applied vertically on the beam. Now this force applied results in the moment. Now the moment about, if you want to measure the moment about point A, now naturally that force F, magnitude of the force, into distance between the point A, perpendicular distance between the point A and the line of action where the moment is applied. So now this moment gives you a measure of how much a rotational tendency will be created on the body, because based on the rotational tendency we have to provide the support to prevent the structure from failing. So moments helps us to determine how much support we have to provide to the structure so that the rotational tendencies gets arrested. So here you can see a carpenter using a hammer in this direction to pull a stubborn nail. So what sort of action that force at the handle that pull the nail? So now this moment, using this moment, we can see the force FH acting here, and this is the perpendicular distance. So this rotational force, that moment, helps to remove the nail from the block. So what is the moment that is required to pull the nail from the block? So that can be determined by determining the magnitude of the force applied and the perpendicular distance between the nail and the force that is being applied. Properties of a moment. So what are the properties of the moment? So moment not only have magnitude, but they also have a sense. Sense means whether the rotational tendency is clockwise or counterclockwise, depending on the way it will tend to make the object rotate. So the sense of the moment is defined by directing its direction it is acting on the axis and can be used found using a right hand rule. So when usually a clockwise moment is considered as negative and anti-clockwise moment is considered as positive. So this lecture will have given an idea about what is a moment, what we mean by properties of moment, and how moment is helpful, how to determine the moment of force, and how the determining the moment of a force helps to uh, understand the support that is required for structure to be stable. So we'll see in the next lecture. Thank you.